What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mobility Wednesday. We're going to start out with a couple deep breaths, just kind of feeling where your body is at, centering yourself. Big inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and fold at the hip, and just kind of give yourself a dead hang here. Just fold over, try and touch your toes if you can, find a comfortable position. Then you're going to grab your elbows and just gently sway back and forth. This kind of is going to loosen up the hips and the low back. Just breathe and sway. Don't have to count reps, just whatever feels good. And then you're going to tuck one foot behind the other and feel a little bit deeper of a hamstring stretch in your front leg. So I just have my foot tucked. I'm going to try and bring my nose to my knee. Wherever you're at in this stretch is fine. Don't try and compare your stretch to my stretch. Now you're going to switch sides, tuck the other leg behind, really focus on breathing. If you're holding your breath, if you're tense, you're not going to get the most out of these stretches. So focusing on your breath the entire time. Go ahead and unfold and roll up slowly right into some neck circles. So just take your head back and around. Imagine drawing a circle on the ceiling with the top of your head. Big circles. You're going to go 5 one direction and then 5 the other direction. Once again, breathing. I'm going to remind you to breathe the entire time. After your neck circles, you're going to go into a tricep stretch and also pedal through your feet. So hopefully you are barefoot. If not, you can do this in shoes, but ideally you're barefoot. And I'm just pedaling 10 times through my feet, through my toes, while I'm stretching my tricep. So I'm going to continue pedaling through my feet. This is that tricep stretch we all know. Just grabbing the elbow, trying to push my fingertips down in between my shoulder blades. And make sure you're stacking shoulders over your hips. So you don't want to be arched in that low back, putting pressure on your back. Close the rib cage, shoulders over hips. A couple arm swings to shake it out. I'm going to take it down to my mat in that long runner's lunge. And I'm going to drop the back knee down. I am aiming my hip flexor towards the opposite heel. Hip flexor to heel. And I'm going to try and stretch my elbows down to the ground. Kind of see how I'm feeling today. You can have your toes up in the back or stretch that ankle out. And then I'm going to go into 5 rotations. Make sure that you're rotating your entire torso, not just that arm, but twisting your whole trunk. Inhale down, exhale to rotate. You can do 5 to 10 rotations here. Now I'm going to go back into my runner's lunge for hip circles. I love these. Imagine like you have a crayon on your hip flexor and you're drawing a circle. And then I'm going to go into my Cossack lunge. Pause for a second before rotating to the other side. Now I'm back in the opposite runner's lunge and I'm going to repeat that same thing. Beginning with just that relaxed back knee, runner's lunge. I'm going to take my elbows down. Big exhale here. Hang out for however long that it feels good to do so. And then go back into those 5 gentle trunk rotations. Inhale down, exhale to twist. Inhale down, exhale to twist. Pop that back knee up. Hip circles for 5. Cossack. I'm going to get fancy on you guys here in a second. So now I'm going to tuck my knee, that same knee that was down, underneath for a nice spinal rotation. I'm extending the arm out just to finish the line. You should feel some nice twist and stretching in your back. There's my little buddy. Decided my stretching was boring. Then I'm going to unfold, reverse, Cossack, go back to the second side, tuck, and twist. I'm going to scooch around and give you a different view here in a minute. So you can see what those legs look like. Then from here, I'm just gonna lay on my back, grab my knees, almost a happy baby, but not quite. And I'm just gonna pull one knee in at a time. This reminds me of labor. Just rolling through your back. Now I'm gonna rotate knees side to side, 5 to 10 reps here. Once again, breathing. Try and keep the shoulder blades planted as the knees are swaying side to side. Then I'm going to grab one of the knees, dropping the other leg down. I'm kind of pulling that knee into my chest while I rotate my ankle. Then I'm going to extend that leg up. You have 2 options here. You can keep your bottom leg straight or you can bend it. This is going to kind of depend on your flexibility here. We want it to stretch, but I don't want you to be miserable. And my other little buddy. So now I'm going to bend and straighten, bend and straighten. This one did feel better for my second leg to be bent. And then switch sides. So first up is just the knee with the ankle rotations. Then you're going to straighten that leg, bend and straight, bend. Notice I'm working the ankle at the same time. Flexion, extension. Five to 10 reps. Then go ahead and gently roll up. You're going to do an old school sit and reach. You should notice a little bit better range of motion at this point. Anytime we're in a sit and reach position and you're kind of folded over, it's easy to be tense, but I want you to really focus on relaxing your body over, reaching the nose to the knees and letting out some big exhales. You can kind of pulse here. You can just hold, or you can even wrap a band around the arches of your feet. If you're not quite to this point in your flexibility, you can use that band to kind of pull yourself forward. Next, we're going to do an ankle stretch. Just ass to grass, butt to ankles. I actually am going to grab a weight here. If you have like a heavy sandbag or something to set on your weight, something to set on your knees to like evenly distribute. But I'm just kind of letting that weight help stretch. And another little buddy. Just rocking back and forth. I have super mobile ankles, so if your position doesn't look like this, do not be discouraged. Just keep working at it. I'm getting some toddler instruction here as well. Once you are finished there, you can set that weight aside and head back into that folded over position, noticing any improvements in your flexibility and range of motion here. Take your time rolling up and out of it. I want you to now grab a pillow or pad. We're going to get into our good old couch stretch. Remember, with the couch stretch, if you're indoors, you can indeed use your couch. If you're out in the gym or in your garage or whatever, you can use a wall, your dumbbell rack, really anything you can just prop one foot up on and then go out into your runner's lunge. We even got the little tater tot doing this stretch with us right now. So fun when your kids voluntarily join in on you and try and figure out what you're doing. So notice I take my arms up. If you have done yoga, you would know this as the King Abram. And the idea is that you are, up against a wall. And this is the fullest extent of this stretch. So my hip flexors elongated, my ribs are closed down. I'm feeling a nice deep stretch in that back ankle as well as my quad. Going to come out of it slowly. Now, if your range of motion and flexibility is not here yet, you can also hold on to a ball, a yoga pad, anything if you need to stay over in that folded over position. I know this can be a really intense stretch in the beginning, so don't feel like you have to go, 0 to 100. I've been doing this stretch almost daily for about a decade now, so just reminding you all to keep your focus on your own flexibility journey here, while also understanding the end goal. From here, we're just gonna go over to the wall or your rack and do some basic calf stretching and feet stretching. So if you have any foot pain, heel pain, sometimes it can just be due to tight calves. So don't neglect those. Pretty typical calf stretching here. Shift your weight forward, toes are up, and you can kind of move around throughout the stretch. Next, I'm going to grab a foam roller. So this is something that I don't do often, but I'm feeling some quad soreness, especially on that outer piece of my quad. And so I'm just going to kind of side lie on top of this foam roller, use my elbow to push and pull myself around. And also I sweep my outer leg around. Notice I'm pushing through my foot to smash out my quad. If your muscles are tight and sore, this will probably be a little bit tender, so make sure you are breathing. It is uncomfortable. If you've ever felt a deep tissue massage, sports massage, you know the feeling. So this is kind of a way to do it to yourself. Yes, more self-torture. That is what we are in the business of doing. If you don't have a foam roller, I would recommend grabbing one off Amazon. They're pretty cheap now. They were expensive when they first came out. They're very cheap now, so get one. Oh, this feels so terrible and so good at the same time. And that hip flexor quads, really good to smash out. So go ahead and enjoy that. And then you'll see me also use it as a stretching tool here in a bit. So now I'm just gonna roll that foam roller away and sit my hips back onto my heels in that child's pose. And I'm just kind of using that foam roller just to pull my arms out a little bit further. And I'm going to sit here, and then I'm going to go up to all fours for some cat-cows to finish this nice stretch off. So during your cat-cows, you want to let your back arch up as high as you can, feeling everything from the tip of your head down to the tip of your tailbone, and then let everything sink. Big exhale all the way through. Big scaredy cat back up on the big inhale, filling your belly up, and then big exhale, let it all out. I like to do these imagining each and every vertebrae moving one at a time. And since we are doing some back love right now, we're going to go ahead and foam roll out a little bit of the upper back. I always feel some back cracking here. I like to take my arms behind my head and just kind of roll back and forth, stretching my mid back over the foam roller as I reach my elbows towards the floor. And then the most miserable one of all, if your butt is at all sore, I'm gonna roll up onto my butt. Hopefully your butt isn't too sore, but if it is, it'll let you know right here, especially if you kind of turn onto the side. You can cross one leg over. Just feel it out here with the foam roller. See what feels good. My 3-year-old thought it was funny that I was rubbing. He said, "Why are you rubbing your booty on that thing?" So then he started doing it. Kiddos, man. All right, and then to just wrap this whole thing up and put a bow on top, we're going to do some pass-throughs and some around the worlds with the band, which you guys all know so well. Thank you for following along this Mobility Wednesday video with me. I hope you're feeling a little bit more flexy by the end of this, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.